been huge technical changes, because particularly in IT, there are things which are so easy to do now that just couldn't do in the past. In fact, it just reminded me that I got immensely interested in programming languages at the MRC and the development of Algol 68, which was a bit of a side issue that I followed up at the time, but I couldn't do anything more with it at the time. So huge changes in technologies, which makes things so much easier now and opens up so many more possibilities. Against that, I think our working practices have got so almost to the point of being unproductive. When I was at the MRC, I was left alone. I was given general direction: study this, look at that, and one got on with it and did it. And I think you explored and you were thinking all the time, and I think that was immense. That freedom was immensely valuable to me, and I think it was productive. And I saw that also when I joined Elsevier. Again, it's a completely different context, because it's a commercial context, but yeah, it was pretty relaxed working environment, and there were jokes, and you sat down and talked over the coffee and so forth, as I had done in MRC with Brian Bowles. We used to spend an hour every morning swapping stories and ruminating over the news and all of this, and then we got on with whatever we did. One of the things I really enjoyed about working at the MRC was the relationships with other people, particularly Brian Bowles, John Ellis, and Robert Waller as well, because there was a relaxed feeling in the organisation, and you can't spend time talking about other things other than work. But of course work always crept into it, and you were picking up ideas and thoughts all the time. I mean, Brian Bowles and I used to wait for the coffee to come in, and then we'd eye up the girls in the lab, the lab technicians, and we'd discuss last night's television and talk about swap dirty stories and so forth. And then I'd spend time with the librarian, and which led into my next job because of the work I did with her, and so forth. So all of that was very productive. That spilled over again when I went into Elsevier, where it was a very unusual organisation, but very, very relaxed, particularly in the early years. There were so many different cultures there that were working together. There was a wonderful chap that was the receptionist in Elsevier's building, some gay black guy that was brought up in Richmond in Surrey, but moved out to the Netherlands because it was so relaxed there. We spent hours together chatting about this and that, but it was also productive. I had a man working for me, for example, who was into fly fishing. He was a Dutch champion fly fisherman. He used to go up on the top of the building and practice casting flies in the afternoon. And all of that, paradoxically, was productive. Towards the end of my time in Elsevier, a culture had come in. Of course, I'm now approaching the 1990s, where you worked long hours. If you came back from the States, you came directly from the airport into the office, rather than spending a day off and recovering the jet lag. And I suspect people work longer hours nowadays with less productivity. And I think that's one of the big changes